Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with the next update for my eyeshadow bank. This is the version of a low buy that I'm doing this year. So I'm just focusing on eyeshadows. And the reason why I'm doing that is because eyeshadows are my problem category. I love eyeshadows. I could spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds on eyeshadows. And apart from just like the money aspect of this, I also just have too much. I have more eyeshadows than I could ever go through, and that's why I also want to do this project. That's probably actually the biggest reason why I want to do this project, because I feel like I just have too much, and you know, even if I do kind of have the finances to purchase it, it will eventually just be wasted money, if that makes sense. So I decided to take on this project, which is something that I actually introduced last year. So this is the second year that I'm doing it. And this was originally created by Laura from Laura Force. I love her channel. She is amazing. I honestly love every single video she posts. She does a lot of Project Pan. She does this project, just like No Pan Left Behind, things like that. And I absolutely love following along with her in her different projects and ventures, but I'm excited to jump into this video and share with you where I'm sitting with my eyeshadow bank today. And we do have some big changes today to share with you, some exciting things. Well, I guess it's exciting, depends on how you look at it, but for me it's exciting. So I'm gonna jump into the video, but before I do so, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So we're going to start off by sharing where I was finishing up last month. So if you don't know, I have a few different categories where I can earn points, which I will go through in a second. And each eyeshadow that I want to purchase equals 10 points. Again, there's a few exceptions to that. So if I am gifted something, or if I have a gift card or free gift to purchase, anything like that, I only count half the points, so that would be 5 points. But the general rule of thumb is 10 points per eyeshadow. So let's start off with March. So at the beginning of March, I had a starting point of 342 points. That is where I was sitting. I was really happy with that number. That equals, you know, 34 eyeshadows if I bought them at full price. So very, very happy with that number. So like I said, I do have a couple categories where I can earn points, and I'll pop them up here as I mentioned them. And we're gonna start off with the first category, which is No Pan Left Behind. And in No Pan Left Behind, I ended up earning 1 point in the month of March. I only used one palette, No Pan Left Behind, and that was my Odin's Eye Snow Dreams palette, which was in my liquid panning. I reached for every single shadow in there, so that is 1 point earned. So that is it for No Pan Left Behind. I've been quite slow with No Pan Left Behind this year. I've been focusing more on my singles, which is why I don't get very high points in that category. Moving on to the second one though, which is where I usually get the bulk of my points, and that is 10 uses. And that is the same this time too. I got 17 points from this category. So let's talk through all of the shadows where I earned points. So first up we have my Colourpop single in Kaleidoscope. It was originally from the Dream State palette. I used that one 10 times for a total of 40 in the year. We also have my Terra Moon's single shadow in Lightspeed, also used that one 10 times. We also have my NYX Depotted Beige Cream kind of shadow, which is in my Panna palette. I reached for that one 20 times in the month of March for a total of 40 in the year. So very happy with that number. Then we have a Glam Shop shadow called Pil Kreskovi, something like that. It's also in my Panna palette and in my BWLP. And I also used that one 10 times for a total of 30 in the year. We have another Colourpop single shadow next, which is also depotted. I think this one is from the Give It To Me Straight palette originally. That was the shade Frank. I reached for that one 10 times. We have my Odin's Eye Red Dragon palette. I reached for the shade Overheats 10 times. Then we have the eyeshadow from the Snow Dreams palette that I actually pan on. That is the shade Hugs. And I used that one 10 times as well. Another shadow with 10 uses is the Terra Moon single shadow in Land on the Stars, so 10 uses there. We have Clionadh Spire, which I actually reached for 20 times in the month of March. I didn't reach for it the full 20 times, but I only count whenever I hit that 10 threshold, so I might have reached for it 12 times and had 8 like times rolling over from last month, if that makes sense. But 20 uses there, which equals 2 points. We also have the shadow Opulent, also from Clionadh. I reached for that one 10 times. Then we have another shadow from my Panna palette. That is the Pastel Roses single shadow in Bismuth. I reached for that one 10 times in the month of March for a total of 20 in the year, so 1 more point there. We have some more singles last. We have the Shine by SD shadow in Ice Blink, which was in collaboration with Seeking Shifts. And that one I used 10 times for a total of 20 in the year. or total, as I keep saying in the year, but I also am counting last year's uses as well. It's total tracked since 2024 when I started this project. Then we have Sydney Gray's Laughter. I reached for that one 10 times for a total of 20. And exactly the same with the last shadow, which is Time to Celebrate, also from Sydney Gray's. I reached for that one 10 times for a total of 20. So that's all the points that I earned in the temp users category. And again, that was 17 points. We're gonna breeze over the next category very quickly because I don't have any points there, and that is 100 uses. I did not hit my 100 use threshold or anything, so 0 points in that category. But next up we have pans, and I do have quite a few pans to share. I have 6 points for pans, and if you don't know, each pan that I hit is 1 point, so that means 6 pans. So the first one I hit pan on was the Colourpop Single Shadow in Prima Drama, which is originally from the Sweet Talk palette. It's a pressed glitter. I hit pan on that. Then I also hit pan on the Terra Moon's Single Shadow in Lightspeed. I hit pan on my Odin's Eye Red Dragon palette in the shade Overheat, as well as the Snow Dreams palette, also from Odin's Eye, in the shade Hugs. Mentioned both of them with my 10 uses as well. Then we have my Terra Moon's Land on the Star shadow. I also had that one in my 10 uses, but I did hit pan on that shade too. And then lastly, we have 2 more kind of single type shadows. We have Frank from Colourpop. That was again the polished shadow from the Give It To Me Straight palette. And lastly, the Pastel Roses Bismuth. So those are the 6 pans that I hit in the month of March, which gave me another 6 points. And then lastly, for categories, I do also have declutters, but I don't really include it every month because it's something that I try not to do. But the last official category that we have is finished shadow, but unfortunately I didn't finish anything in March, so 0 points there as well. So I'm really happy with that, and that actually means that I ended up earning 24 points in the month of March. Very, very happy with that. It's, you know, it's 2.5 eyeshadows, not super high, but I think overall, especially for it being a slightly slower month, I'm really pleased with that number. So that is everything that I earned. However, we do have some more things to share because I did mention this in the last update, but I was foreseeing myself to purchase a few things, and I have. I made 2 different orders from 2 brands, which means that I'm bringing in some eyeshadows and also, you know, use some points. So I'm going to talk you through what I purchased next. Alright, so we're going to start off with the first order that I made, which I made very, very early in the month, and they are all housed in here. They're all single shadows, and they all come from Shine by SD. I ended up purchasing 11 singles. These are them right there. They did actually have a sale going. They had a moving sale, so they moved, I think they moved like production facilities or something like that, and they had a sale to try to get rid of as much stock as possible for the move, but I was actually planning to purchase from them anyway, and then I saw they had a sale and I was like, it's a sign, I'm finally going to purchase something. I have the points, so that's what I did. So these are the shadows right here. We do have, I believe, 8. I feel like these top 6 here, and then the first 2 are from the, what is it called, the collection. It is called the Sparkle Lights collection. It's not all of the shadows. I believe they have 12 in that collection, but these are the ones that I wanted to pick up that are also in stock. So really, really happy with that. I've been loving them. I've been trying to reach for them here and there. I actually rolled the first shadow here into my year usage project pan to try to reach for as much as I can in the next month. But I really love them. They're very sparkly, very like multicolored sparkles, super, super pretty shades. So I did purchase those. And then I do have 3 kind of standalone shadows from different collections. I believe 2 of them are from the Halo Horizon collection. We do have this one right here, and then the one underneath it. And let me show you them. It's these 2 right there. They're like those holographic multichromes. I do have another one from that collection, but it was before they reformulated, which is way more chunky. And then I have one last shadow, which is just a standalone one from the Moonlight collection. This is the shade Sizzle. But those are all of the shadows that I picked up from Shine by SD. And I did buy all of these full price. I mean, they were on sale, but points wise they were full price. I didn't have a gift card. I didn't get gifted any of these, so none of them were free to purchase either. So 10 points for each of these shadows means that these end up costing me 110 points, because again, 11 times 10 is 110. So yeah, that is the first order that I made. I'm really, really happy. I've been loving these shadows, and I think they're so stunning and beautiful, and they're exactly what I want to reach for right now. They're like slightly colorful, but also very neutral, so exactly up my alley. for what I'm liking at the moment. So that is the first order, but I do have one more order and some more shadows to share with you. And then the next brand that I purchased from is right here. They actually also house in a Clionadh single palette, but this is actually from Clionadh. I did pick up a quad as well from them, so you can see that right there. But the second order, like I said, I made was from Clionadh, and I picked up these things. So let's start off with the quad. So the reason why I purchased from Clionadh is because they actually released their Christmas, what's it called? Was it 12 Days of Christmas? Something like that. The Christmas like Advent calendar bundle. They released them again, and I have been looking at them, but I originally thought that they were, I didn't like all the shades basically when they first released them, so I only wanted to pick up the shades that I liked. Clionadh is something that I collected before. I used to purchase every single shadow that I could from Clionadh that were from the stained glass collection, wearing those square pans, but I have tried to get away from that mentality because I just can't keep collecting them. I have so many beautiful eyeshadows and they end up sitting there because I get overwhelmed that I just have so many, so I'm trying to be more selective with what I purchase from them. So that's the reason, but I did want to pick up a couple of shades when they released them individually, and the first thing that I picked up again was the quad. So they had two quads, the lighter and the darker. They don't have any names or anything, but this one has of course 4 shadows in it. It looks like this. So these are multi-chromes. I think all of these are multi-chromes, but they're super stunning. You can see some of the shifts right there. So those are first 4 shadows that I purchased from them. Really happy. I haven't actually played with any of them. I've swatched them, but I haven't played with any of these shadows yet. So I definitely need to do that because they are absolutely stunning. But I got these shadows not too long ago, so I haven't really had an opportunity to play with them yet, but I definitely will very soon. And then on top of that quad, I actually did pick up some singles too. So again, these are all from that Christmas release bundle, and I picked up 6 of the shadows. So they are here, and I picked up 2 iridescents, as you can see. I'm actually wearing this iridescent right here, which I believe is called Light Fast. I believe so. Let me check. No, Light Fast is actually one that were released a couple years ago. Mixing up the names, it's called Starcut. But I'm wearing that one on my inner corners today. It's like an orangey kind of fiery iridescent. I don't know if you're picking up on camera properly. Sometimes I feel like these iridescent don't look as colorful as they do in real life. But yeah, it's a super beautiful shade, so I'm wearing that today. But these are the shadows that I picked up, and again, they're all from that Christmas release. Very happy with all of these. And with these shadows, again, there's 6 plus the quad, which is 10. But I did actually have a gift card from Clionadh, and for Christmas my partner got me a Clionadh gift card, which I was able to use. I believe it was 100 Canadian dollars worth. And that actually paid for 60% of the order. I believe it wasn't like exactly 60, but very close. I believe it was like 59% or 61%. I can't actually remember exactly how much, but it was very close to 60%. And I had to round up, so in order to like help with the points. But it was, yeah, around that number. It might have actually been slightly more than 6%. I can't remember, but 60% of the order was paid with the gift card. And with that rule, my the shadows paid with by a gift card or gifted to me, anything like that, even if I picked them up myself or if they're like handed to me as a gift, and now only count as 5 points instead of 10. So since 60% out of 10, that's 6 shadows, they were only half price. That means that instead of paying 60, I had to pay 30 for them, and then the remaining 4 shadows I had to pay full for, so that would be 40 points, which means that for Clionadh I ended up spending 70 points. Hope all of them make sense. But yeah, 70 points spent from Clionadh, and then plus those 110 points spent at Shiny by SD means that I spent 180 points in the month of March. So taking that in consideration, I actually looked at the rolling over balance first, which was 342. Taking away the 180 means that I had 162 points after that point, so I was definitely still in a positive. And then if we add again those 24 points that I earned, we are now sitting at 186 points, rolling over to April. So definitely lower than it has been in a while. I'm gonna look, what did I start off the year with, by the way? 286. And what was I on now? I was on 186, so we're actually under point exactly behind where I started in the year, but I think that's pretty good. I'm really happy that I'm still in the positive, and looking at like 186, I still could buy like an £18 palette if I wanted, or some more singles, stuff like that, but I'm not sure if I'm going to buy anything at the moment. I think I'm going to play with the shadows that I have now, and then maybe purchase things later in the year as I feel like it. I did see though, which is really tempting for me, I did see that Dominatrix is re-releasing the Nearly Natural palette, which is a palette that is probably my top palette for like the one they got away. Is the Nearly Natural palette from Dominatrix, and they're releasing Nearly Natural 2.0. So I haven't actually checked their Instagram in a couple of days, but I saw it a couple of days ago that they were releasing it, and I need to look at that palette, but that might be something that I'm very tempted by. Just because it is something that I kind of felt like I missed out on, but it depends if the color story is going to be like the same or if they're going to change it at all. But yeah, I might be interested in that one, but we'll see. Hopefully, if so, it's not going to be limited edition or anything, and I can pick it up later on in the year. Because again, I don't want to like splurge right now because I already bought quite a lot in March. I don't want to keep spending. I might want to take a few months off again and not keep purchasing, if that makes sense. But that is going to be it for my eyeshadow bank for today. I'm really pleased. I feel like my mindset of buying eyeshadows has completely changed compared to before. I did actually see that Clionadh, this is also something that's tempting because I want to pick up a couple more shades from Clionadh from the, what were they, the last two releases. I think the Halloween collection last year and something else. It's like all of those more like dimensional lights, stuff like that. I haven't picked up anything from those last two releases, and I've been dying to try them, but I've been, you know, not purchasing anything, which I'm very proud of. And they do have this weekend, I saw on my emails, I saw they have a buy 3, got the 4th for free from the stained glass collection. So, you know, basically 25% off if you buy 4. And I'm very tempted by that, but I need to sit on it. Again, I don't want to splurge too much, but Clionadh very rarely have like good sales on the stained glass collection, so I am tempted. But if so, I wouldn't buy too many. It would either be just the 4 or 8 shadows, and then obviously that 4th shadow would be 5, you know, 5 points instead of 10 because I get it for free. So how much would that be? That would be 35 points per 4 shadows that I buy, which I could do. I mean, even if I bought 8 of them, that would be 7 points, which means I would still be in the positive, but I would be running quite low with points in that case. So it's something I need to debate and look at, if like how many shadows I actually want from them and what's in stock, stuff like that. So we'll see. But that is kind of where my mindset is at now. I'm trying to avoid purchasing. There's some good sales going right now, and there's some good releases going right now. So it is harder. This is like probably the hardest time so far since starting this project for not buying. But I do have the points for a reason. I can purchase. I don't have to have like 300, 400 points in order to spend. So I could allow myself doing one of those 2 purchases as long as I don't go into negative. That is my main rule. I don't want to go into negative. I can go into negative if I'm gifted something, because obviously I can't really control that. I can request things, of course, but if I'm gifted something, I'm going to be very grateful. But I can't go into negative on my own. Then I would have to earn points to get back in the positive after a month. So I don't want to be negative, but I do have enough points, I think, to purchase something if I wanted to, but that would bring me down to quite low points. But we'll see. Next month is going to be maybe a surprise if I purchase something or not, but I don't know. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise to me and you guys what it's going to look like next month, but we'll see. I'm going to say I'm going to try not to buy something, but maybe I will. We'll see. I'm just going to look at like all of the releases. Like it's those 2. It's either the Dominatrix palette or the Clionadh singles. More likely the Clionadh singles right now, unless the Dominatrix palette is limited edition. So we'll see. But I will do some maths, see if I think it's worth it or not, and see how many points I would have left after that. But I'm gonna wrap up the video here. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to check out Laura, who created this project, as well as everyone else who's doing it. I think a lot of people have joined in this now. I don't know if she has a playlist or anything, but if you check out her videos, she will probably have that linked if that's the case. And otherwise, I hope you guys are having an amazing day wherever you are, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye guys.